Ray Brown's Talking Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com.
And by Vortex Optics with the VIP warranty, their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, and welcome to our show number 964. And apologies for your humble host's nasality on today's show. We're going to start off with an audio postcard from Yosemite National Park in California, courtesy of Kimberly Mutu.
Good morning, Ray. You're hearing a pileated woodpecker working its way up a tree right next to me on the Merced River in the middle of the Yosemite Valley. I went for a walk, and the river is very low right now, so I'm able to walk right down on the sandbars of what would be a massive river in the spring. And I came across two pileated woodpeckers working their way up trees. One is right next to me right now. I'll send you some photos. Bye.
Thank you, Kimberly. And yes, Kimberly also, in addition to the photos, sent us a cool video. Possibly that same pileated woodpecker excavating for some tasty larvae on a tree there by the Merced River in Yosemite Valley. You can see that video right now on our TalkinBirds.com website and on our Facebook page. Meanwhile, we can never get enough of these wonderful listener-provided audio postcards.
I'm still not satisfied.
So if you're looking at birds, you could just record a description of what you're seeing on your smartphone or digital device and then send the resulting file to ray@talkingbirds.com. That's ray@talkingbirds.com. And it doesn't matter if you're watching birds in Yosemite National Park or in your own backyard or anywhere else. Just a recording of 30 seconds to a minute's worth or so. Just about right. ray@talkingbirds.com for your audio postcard. Here's a conservation idea of the week. We think it's a really good one and certainly a timely one. It's the plastic-free holiday gift guide from the folks at Beyond Plastics, one of our favorite organizations in the whole world. The guide features all kinds of cool gift ideas, all plastic-free, and a lot of creative suggestions worth checking out. Easy to find at beyondplastics.org. That's beyondplastics, plural, .org. Just go to that website and you'll see the big plastic-free holiday gift guide banner right there on the homepage. You can't miss it. This is a guide that just might solve all of your holiday gift-giving challenges. That address again, beyondplastics.org. Does it sound familiar? We'll see. It's our mystery bird. There's a preview here of our mystery bird contest. We'll do the actual contest itself just a little bit later on in the show. This is a preview, so you'll be hopefully ready to call in when we give the signal a bit later and identify our mystery bird. It's a large perching bird with a long dark tail, blue-black wings, a black head and back with white shoulder patches, a white belly and sides, a bright yellow bill, and a yellow spot behind the eyes. It's common and easily spotted often in the oak woodlands of central and southern California, but is found nowhere else on the planet. Our bird belongs to the corvid family, known for birds like crows and ravens and jays and nutcrackers, and feeds mostly on insects, while also consuming a wide variety of plant and animal foods. That's our mystery bird. There it is again. And here are the prizes. Wonderful prizes indeed. One is a big bag, a big bag of our favorite coffee. Shade-grown, bird-friendly, and truly delicious birds and beans coffee. grown under the natural forest canopy in Central America to preserve wintering habitat for warblers, tanagers, thrushes, hummingbirds, and more of the birds that we all love. It would be a nice gift, too, for anyone who on your list drinks coffee. Meanwhile, you don't have to sacrifice style for comfort when you're out in the field. That's why our other prize today is a $25 gift certificate for Bird Collective. It's the one-stop shop for vintage-inspired apparel and unique accessories, all featuring birds. More about them at birdcollective.com. Prizes there and the sound and the clues about our mystery bird. If we get to a bonus question this morning, we also have the feather-friendly bird window collision kit to help ensure that no birds crash into your windows. All coming up on our mystery bird contest just a bit later on in this morning's show. We are very grateful to be able to continue salute new ambassadors, helping to spread the word about our show and about what we're trying to do, get the word out about birds and conservation. And today we want to salute Dr. Peter Dane from Sudbury, Massachusetts. Thank you, Peter. Peter's already a great friend of the show and is now an official Talkin' Birds ambassador. By the way, next week we'll have a special announcement about a new ambassador's milestone. Meanwhile, we hope you'll consider becoming part of our ambassadors family. Signing up and being an ambassador are both quite easy. Just click on the Get Involved tab at talkinbirds.com and help us do what we are trying to do without having a marketing department. And that is simply to spread the word as far as we can about the wonder of birds and the vital importance of conservation. Well, still to come today, we'll bring back one of our favorite interviews of 2023, in which researcher Dr. Corey Elo describes his breakthrough research on how birds power their migratory flights. Also today, should the first letter of birds' names be capitalized, or should they be relegated to lowercase? The debate rages on, and our Mike O'Connor will weigh in on it in a Let's Ask Mike segment, almost live from the archive. And up next, instead of presenting our usual Feathered Friend segment, yours truly will have the honor of reading aloud the words of our friend Al Batt as he looks back on mid-November in Heartland, Minnesota. We'll start with a little applause here.
I've said goodbye to many of summer's birds and insects, little things that made a season. I did a good deed and put out some bird seed in their memory. Lots of flowers are blooming in the middle of November, mostly dandelions. A caller said raccoons got into a garbage can. I said they were seeking canned goods. I saw a pair of bald eagles on a nest site in Alaska in November. I've seen that in Minnesota in November, too. They come in to do a little repair or remodeling, or maybe just a bonding practice. Cooper's hawks are prospering in urban areas. Their preferred prey can be readily found there. Rock pigeons, mourning doves, and Eurasian collared doves. I watched a coop chase house sparrows under a minivan, while a downy woodpecker froze in place, trying to be invisible. Freezing in position is a common strategy for the downy, as woodpeckers aren't fast flyers. It's the bird's best defense, hoping to escape a predator's notice. Its slow, undulating flight isn't a good escape mechanism.
Let's hear it for Al Batt. Al Batt. Find out more about Al and his words of wisdom and lots more on his website, albatt.com, and that is Batt with 2 T's. Welcome again to our show, number 964, and we're kind of flashing back today, as we mentioned, with a favorite interview from May of 2023. Welcome again to our show, number 933.
We're continuing our research theme. Here's a headline from University of Massachusetts Amherst. The surprising science behind long-distance bird migration. New research led by UMass Amherst shows that birds kick off their nonstop intercontinental flights with a protein boost. So that word protein seems to be a surprise, since it's long been thought, I believe, that fat was what fueled the birds at the start of their migrations and through most of it. But this new research seems to show that's not exactly the case. To help explain, we're joined by lead author of the paper detailing this new research, Dr. Corey Elo. Good morning, Corey.
Good morning. Thanks for having me, Ray.
You're welcome. Thanks so much for being with us. What gave you the idea to pursue this research, and what did you discover?
Well, my advisor at the time, my PhD advisor, Dr. Alex Gerson, had done some of this work up in Canada at the Advanced Facility for Avian Research. And he found some really interesting findings about how birds are using protein in some shorter flights in the wind tunnels, basically these treadmills for birds. And he found that they were burning protein at different rates, depending on the humidity conditions they were experiencing in flight. And so my PhD research kind of built on that to try to figure out exactly how they're using this protein in flight.
So Professor Gerson said something like this: no one has been able to measure protein burn to this extent in birds before. He says, we knew that birds burn protein, but not at this rate and not so early in their flights. And this is maybe the really most amazing part. The quote is, what's more, these small songbirds can burn 20% of their muscle mass and then build it all back in a matter of days. Big surprise, no?
Yeah, they're really incredible animals. I mean, these birds, they'll land and they'll have almost no muscle left. You'll see some birds where the muscle is basically right up against the breastbone. You know, it's not a chicken you'd buy in the store. There's barely any muscle left on this thing. And within a few days, they'll build that right back up. And that muscle will be their flights for long periods of time. So they have this incredible tissue flexibility that is just kind of unparalleled.
Mm-hmm. It certainly sounds like it, and maybe some implications for humans, right? We talked before the show about this.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we don't really know how they're able to do this, how they're able to defend this muscle function while it's going through such drastic changes. If we saw this in a mouse, it would probably die. And yet, you know, if we can explore these mechanisms a little bit, we can get some idea of maybe how it can translate to human health, things like muscle wasting disease.
Mm-hmm. Well, you talked about use of the wind tunnel. I wonder if you'd explain that a bit, how you go about using a wind tunnel for this.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really fun, especially during migration, because these birds, when the sun sets, they want to be flying. Mm-hmm. So they're already ramped up. They're ready to go. So really, at around 8 o'clock at night, we would take these birds that we have in captivity and bring them over to this dark wind tunnel with a single light in it, kind of to mimic moonlight. Mm-hmm. And we just kind of let them go into this wind, and they think they're migrating. They want to be migrating. So they just kind of take off and fly. And some of them even start flight calling at high rates in here. So they kind of get in the zone. Mm-hmm. They really want to be flying at this time. Yeah. So it's really like a bird treadmill.
In the zone. I like that. By the way, I saw this study about gray catbirds from University of Rhode Island, where they found the flight muscles of these birds were larger during fall migration than in summer. Another surprise?
Yeah, that is a little surprising. Typically we think of spring migration as the real race. All the birds are rushing north to try to get to their breeding grounds. But having the muscle be larger in the fall is kind of a mystery. And, there are so many other things that might go into this. It could be, maybe predation risk. Maybe they need to have these large muscles and maintain these large muscles to escape predators or something. Mm-hmm. But it could also be that these muscles are really a source of water. So birds are really good at burning fat, but fat is stored without water. But our muscles and our organs, those all contain water bound up with the protein. So you can kind of think of it like a water reservoir. If they're breaking down this protein, they might be getting water as well.
Something we're used to up in this part of the country, if not this time of year, is shivering. And I know this is going to be your next area of research. And you're kind of asking the question here, as the world warms, which method of coping with the cold, shivering or migrating, might be the better option for survival? Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, it's a really interesting question because you can think of both methods, staying resident and dealing with the cold or migrating to escape the cold, as two different adaptations to seasonality in their annual cycle. And we don't really know why birds migrate versus staying put. And the funny thing is they require kind of similar mechanisms. Both of them require this kind of endurance exercise. One to shiver all night long, and another to fly all night long. And so I'm really interested in kind of comparing these two strategies and seeing which one might win out if climate change keeps kind of moderating the climate as time goes on.
Indeed. Fascinating. Corey Elo recently completed his Ph.D. with Dr. Alec Gerson at UMass Amherst, researching the physiology of long-distance migration in birds. He's now a postdoctoral researcher focusing on seasonal acclimatization to temperature and photoperiod. In Songbirds, you can learn more about him, including the study we've just been talking about, under the blog heading on his website. That's CoreyElo.com, CoreyElowe, CoreyElo.com. Corey, thank you so much for being with us, and I hope we'll talk soon about that other new research.
Sounds great. Thanks, Ray.
Dr. Corey Elo here on Talking Birds. Up next, our Mystery Bird Contest in just 1 minute.
The flutter of a tail feather, the flash of a wing bar in mid-flight. You don't always have a lot of time to identify a bird in nature, let alone to appreciate its beauty. But with Vortex Optics, you'll have the power to bring every wild moment closer. When you choose Vortex, you're choosing to have a partner in the field as passionate about nature as you are. Whether you're spotting old friends on the backyard feeder or packing for a once-in-a-lifetime trip to add a few species to your life list, Vortex offers a full range of optics and optics accessories for every birder and every budget. And whether the birds are taking you to another state or another country, you're always covered by the Vortex VIP warranty, an unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. If you'd like to learn more, or if you need help choosing your next optic, give Vortex a call at 1-800-4VORTEX or visit vortexoptics.com.
There's our mystery bird. Someone you heard a few minutes ago, we're just recapping to engage in the actual contest here. And I invite you to call in and tell us what that bird is, or take your guess. As we always say, no correct answer means a drawing will determine our winner. So take a guess, and you could still be the winner of some beautiful prizes here and have the satisfaction of winning our mystery bird contest. That bird is kind of a noisy one, not surprising, because it has relatives like crows, ravens, jays, nutcrackers, all in the corvid family. Our bird feeds mostly on insects, also consuming a wide variety of plant and animal foods, and the description is as follows. It's a large perching bird with a long, dark tail, blue-black wings, a black head and back with white shoulder patches, a white belly and sides, a bright yellow bill, and a yellow spot behind the eye. That blue-black wings thing is that kind of iridescence effect. This bird is common in the oak woodlands of central and southern California and nowhere else on the whole planet. Another unusual feature of our mystery bird. And wonderful prizes await, including our favorite coffee on the whole planet, and that is birds and beans grown under the natural forest canopy in Central America to preserve wintering habitat for birds, shade-grown and bird-friendly and delicious. And a $25 gift certificate from our friends at Bird Collective. the one-stop shop for vintage-inspired apparel and unique accessories, all featuring birds, at birdcollective.com. And here's an important note. If you're not hearing our show live, would like to do so for next time, so you could enter our Mystery Bird contest, just go to talkingbirds.com, and you'll see how to do it. That's talkingbirds.com. And we try to make everything easy around here so we can understand it ourselves, and this is no exception. Our live broadcast, by the way, is on Sunday mornings from 9:30 to 10 Eastern. 9:30 to 10 Eastern, and that website, again, for that info is talkingbirds.com, and there's no G in talkin'. We go back to the archive for a check-in with Mike O'Connor and his take on a raging debate. Let's ask Mike, almost live from the archive in just 1 minute.
What's one of your favorite memories?
Let's see. Well, there was this one time I went snorkeling in the Caribbean when I was a kid. It really just blew my mind. I mean, when you're sitting on the beach, it's so peaceful, and you sort of forget there's a whole other world under there, just full of all kinds of life. We saw the most beautiful corals. I remember thinking they were waving at us as they moved with the ocean. And then there were all these amazing fish. They kind of reminded me of tropical birds. They were so bright and colorful, just darting all over the place like birds in the sky. I'll never forget it. It completely changed the way I look at the ocean.
Most of us have a memory of being in nature we'll never forget. Let's protect the world's natural places so more memories can be made for generations to come. Visit worldwildlife.org.
Down to Cape Cod, where the sun always shines and temperatures are usually in the mid-70s to low 80s year-round. Mike O'Connor down there at the Birdwatchers General Store. Good morning, Mike. Indoor temperature, I meant to add that. Sorry.
That's right.
Yeah.
We can't. Let's not get specific, though.
Just kind of.
Doesn't want that to get out, right?
Just kind of leave that out there. People can figure out how they want to.
When they get here, they'll figure it out.
So we're going to tackling one of the great issues of our time today, Mike, and that is whether common names of birds should be capitalized.
Yeah, this seems like an easy one to me. This seems like one that they should have just like, oh yeah, right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And you get a few years ago, all the people from National Audubon put all the eggheads in a room, all the birders and all the ornithologists and all the people in charge of text and writing, and they said we got to come up with an answer for this, and then they left and nobody had an answer. It was like a political debate almost.
Yeah, that's why they're eggheads, I guess. Yeah.
At the end of it, everybody still agreed with what they thought going in. So basically what it is since bird names have a lot of adjectives built into them, bluebird, yellow warbler, little gull, spotted sandpiper, it's difficult when you're reading, reading text to figure out if you're talking about a species. There's a species little gull. There's a species yellow warbler, or you're talking about a small gull, or you're talking about a warbler, which there are a lot of that are yellow, or sandpiper that is a spotted sandpiper, which is a separate species, or just one of hundreds of, it seems, sandpipers that are spotted. So the birders say, okay, when we write it in text, we'll capitalize it. So if it's a warbler that's yellow, it's small letters, and if it's the species, then the Y in yellow will be capital. Oh, time's up.
Oh, they're calling again. Popularity is just out of control.
Did I?
Johnny Olson will be checking in with you just in a few minutes here to let you know what you have won.
What my prizes are.
We would talk.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so the American Ornithological Union, National Audubon, and the International Ornithological Congress, which seems like just the most superior organization in the world, said all common names will have capitals, so if we're talking about generically or talking about a species. And they all were happy, and then not so fast. People like the Associated Press and even Wikipedia said, no, it's not a proper name, we're not going to capitalize it. So the debate rages on. But if you pick up a bird book from now on, any kind of birding by an ornithologist or an author associated with birding, is required to use capital names. So it's going to be a little bit confusing. But anybody, and I know a lot of people who listen to your show, Ray, are genuine authors. And so if they're going to
They're not all named Arthur, but some of them are. That's true. Yeah.
They should, get into this. And, and I've written a few things. And it's funny because I capitalize all the common bird names, and then immediately the newspaper flips them around.
And they put lowercase.
They put them to lowercase.
Well, we were talking about off the air before about, the point of grammar is to make things clear. So if you're going to use lowercase letters on a bird, that's not clear if it says
it's
yellow
not clear,
warbler.
Right. It adds the confusion. And newspaper people, I'm not going to say they don't care, but it doesn't mean much to them. You tell them about a yellow warbler, they don't care what that is. They don't know what that is. So they don't understand the confusion. And then one time I wrote about a white-breasted nuthatch, and they were in such a hurry to change the N in nuthatch to a lowercase, they hit the wrong button. So I ended up writing about a butt hatch. And people were blaming me. I said, I didn't write it. I didn't give it to them that way. But when they did the editing, they kind of screwed it up. So it's too bad because a butt hatch would be kind of a cool bird to see.
Yeah, well, I like that. Mike, we're in agreement, I think, on this.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Yeah. The birders are. We'll see what we can get the other, other nerds.
Yeah, and next week we'll try to settle the problem of the Oxford comma. There's another big debate.
Oh, man, yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
I won't be able to sleep all week. All right, talk to you next week. See you later.
All right. Mike O'Connor here on Talking Birds. I should point out, Mike was not incorrect when he said American Ornithological Union. That was the name of that group back when we did that little chat there originally, now the American Ornithological Society. But we're back here at the Mystery Bird. Let's hear that bird just very briefly, just kind of one more time there. That's probably enough right there. 781-837-4900. Quickly, our mystery bird is a large perching bird with a long dark tail, blue-black wings, a black head and back with white shoulder patches, white belly and sides, a bright yellow bill, and a yellow spot behind the eye. Only found in Southern California. Maybe that's where Scott is. I know he's in California. Let's see exactly where he is there. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, Ray. How are you?
Well, thanks. How are you doing? And are you in Southern California?
Well, no, sir. I am. I'm about an hour north of San Francisco.
Okay, so not exactly in the range of this bird, but that doesn't mean you don't know what this bird is. We'll find out.
Well, I don't know what I know, Ray.
All right, I relate to that. What do you say, though, Scott?
I'm going to go with the high-quality guess of California scrub jay.
California scrub jay. That is a high-quality or top-quality guess, we often say. And you're in the right family there, right, with the corvid family, with that scrub jay. But not exactly the answer we had in mind here.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Scott. Try us again.
Right on. Keep up the great work.
Thank you so much. That's Scott, north of San Francisco, and now we're back here to the East Coast, and Susan is in Yarmouthport, Massachusetts. Good morning, Susan.
Good morning, Ray. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
Very well. This is a beautiful day.
It is, and what do you think our mystery bird is, Susan?
Well, I'm not in California. I've never seen one, but I think it's the yellow-billed magpie.
I think that's exactly right, as a matter of fact, yes. The yellow-billed magpie. Folks in California like this bird so much that in 2009, they named it their Bird of the Year in a contest sponsored, organized by Audubon California. Well, you're absolutely right, and looks like we are just plumb out of time. Stay on the line, Susan, and Jesse will get your info.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Susan correctly identifying the yellow-billed magpie as our mystery bird. Next week, we'll learn about some more fascinating bird research when our Debbie Bleacher joins us from the Talkin' Birds Science Corner. That's it for today. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you next week.
The bird show. I like that. I love it.
Ray Brown's Talkin' Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com.
And by Vortex Optics with the VIP warranty, their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com.